Hi everyone, this is Christine and welcome to my vlog, The Maple Diaries. Today, it's going to be a different kind of episode. I love positivity. I love creating and sharing anything good about living here in Canada. But this time, I'm not going to be pessimistic, but I just also want you to understand that there's also like the consequence of moving here in Canada. And it's up to you if you guys are planning to move here in Canada. Maybe you can watch my video which talks about all the good things about here in Canada. At the same time, you also try to weigh the pros and cons. And now I'll be talking about the top reasons why you don't have to move here in Canada. I hope you guys understand that this video is just like for me to share the real life scenarios I had when I moved here. Been here for just 2 years, and these are the things that I've realized that would be main reasons that some Canadians are leaving this country, or some immigrants even decide just to leave and just forget about their Canadian dream. The first factor is, of course, we all know it. This is just like everybody knows this. Canada is considered as one of the most coldest countries in the world. Yes, like you cannot escape the winter here in Canada. You cannot escape what kind of weather, harsh winter that we have in here. They say even in Vancouver, in Toronto, those cities, they also experience the same thing. In my case, I am based here in Ottawa, and this is considered one of the provinces who has the coldest winter in this country. I'm sure there are other provinces here who have more like crazy winter, but I could say that here in Canada, some provinces even experience a minus 40 degrees Celsius. I don't think no one is aware. When you moved here, you totally have no idea of how it feels to endure that kind of harsh weather. And in my case, I'm still struggling. I don't know if I can get over with it. I've met a lot of Canadians who had decided to just leave the country and migrate to somewhere else. I came from a tropical country, so this is really not an easy thing for me to like endure as well. And all you have to do is just really to stay positive. Try to look at the other brighter side of things and probably engage in some winter activities. But in my case, I'm really still struggling until now. So for those of you who are planning of moving here, just make sure you are up for a challenge. This is such a big change. Once you get here, there's no turning back. So the next factor that I'll be talking about is the out of control cost of living. Yes, that's one of the most challenging part once you moved here. So living in Canada compared to other countries in the world has a relatively high cost of living. For example, if you live in the city of Vancouver or you live in the city of Toronto, a one-bedroom apartment will often cost you $2,000 per month. Wow, that's really pricey. And or even also, if you want to buy a single family home, which is a home that doesn't have any other attachment to it, prices will start at 1 million Canadian dollars in cities like Toronto and Vancouver. From rent to utility bills, to shopping, to phone, internet and cable bills, to gas, to car insurance, to eating out. Basically, everything is expensive. So in my experience, and this is one of the things that is really quite difficult to balance, is because the budgeting, it's really you have to be very disciplined when it comes to budgeting, because everything really is expensive. And you have to make sure whatever your earnings is just, it has to cover all those expenses. So for me, what I can say, cost of living, what we did is that, because there's no sense of really renting an apartment, and at the same time, you know that whatever you're paying it's also the same thing with your mortgage once you get a house. So my husband and I just decided to buy a new house. We bought it during this pandemic, and we just realized that it's better just to, instead of investing our monthly rent, why don't we just invest it in our mortgage? So at least you don't have to feel bad that you're paying for your rent, but instead you're already paying for your own home. So in our case, it's a 3-home townhouse, and it's a end corner unit. I don't know if I said it right, but our monthly mortgage is 1,650 Canadian dollars. And well, for us, we find it's a very good decision to buy one. Even it's only our second year here. I think it's better than to wait 10 years, because some people wait for their 10th year just to buy a house here, but it doesn't really make sense at all. So for us, we also thought of some ways to reduce our expenses. So we had a second-hand car. We only bought it when we moved here. We only bought it for just like $6,000. But could you imagine how old the car is? And at the same time, we always end up sending our car to the garage for some maintenance. So it hammered us a lot. So we've decided just to ditch this car and really buy something that we think would have a very good return of investment. His dream is really to buy an electric car. But of course, Tesla is out of the subject because it's very expensive. So we end up getting an electric car, and we're quite happy about it. At first, I'm quite hesitant because I was thinking, how could we do our long drive? There are so many ways how to do it just by pre-planning your travel. So now we had our electric car, so we never pay for any fuel anymore, and we don't pay any maintenance, any oil change. We never pay, as in ever. So this one is a very good decision, buying an electric car and getting our own house here. But aside from that, of course, you can never escape whatever other factors that would make your cost of living a bit higher, what it was used to be when you were not here yet. So until now, I'm struggling with doing groceries, because groceries, like anywhere here, there's always a tax, and it's not that easy to just budget or allocate a budget for your groceries. I think this is one of the things that you have to consider when you intend to move here in Canada. Just think of the cost of living, and when you get a job, you have no idea how much salary would you have, and that's why some people take 2 to 3 jobs for them just to compensate on the cost of living. We're already facing the reality, and we have to accept the changes, and we just have to be more practical with our spending. At the same time, we also have to just be thankful or grateful for what we have right now, because each immigrant has different stories. Probably us, we're a bit luckier because we didn't wait for so long to get a job, and I think that's already one thing to be grateful of. So just make sure to think of that before moving here. So another one reason of considering of not to move here in Canada is the poor transportation. If you're moving from a place with great public transportation and then suddenly you're in Ottawa, I don't think you'll be happy enough to do your commute, because most especially when you consider the weather during the winter, waiting for the public transportation like the bus, I don't know how you survive, but it's gonna be very tough. But still, there are a lot of people I'm seeing doing their commute. They're happy about it. But for us, it didn't work out because our job, it's like a 20-minute or 30-minute travel. So we don't have any choice but to get our own car. Also, try to think of it that once you get a car, it also includes additional expenses like the car insurance and the fuel and the maintenance. So it's like a soaring high of expenses, additional expenses for your basic necessity just to survive here in Canada. So if you consider to move here in Canada, make sure that you have enough savings, so when you start over here, you can simply buy first a second-hand car, and then once you get to your back of being stable here, then you can already upgrade. And the fourth one, healthcare crisis here in Canada. How would I say that? So this is very tough to understand, because before coming here, I thought that we got the best doctors here. We have plenty of doctors here. But when I came here, it's not the same. It took me like 3 months before finding a family doctor. So it's not the same as in the Philippines, that of course you pay for your healthcare, but you get the best doctor. Or like in Dubai, you have your medical coverage, you can still get the best doctors and you can just see them anytime you want. But here in Canada, seeing a doctor would take time. If it's emergency purposes, then of course you rush right straight to the hospital, and of course they would accept you. But if you want to do just a physical checkup, or you just want to see a doctor, it's not gonna happen the day after tomorrow. It's not gonna happen like 2 days after your appointment of your booking. Not gonna happen. Sometimes you have to wait for a month or even months just to see your doctors. That's how our healthcare works here. It's not really easy to find a specialist. So if you have a child, like if you are used to seeing a pediatrician here in Canada, it's not going to be the same. Pediatricians are just meant for children who have special needs or condition. But if your child is just normal or doing well, then they just have to see a family doctor to stay more healthier and fit, so you don't have to really see doctors. But one thing is for sure, our healthcare system is free, meaning that when we see a doctor for appointment, we don't pay anything. But of course, for like any extra special like dental coverage, and that's going to be part, if you are employed, then you have a private medical insurance, then for sure that's going to be covered. And probably the one good thing about it, if you are employed and you have a very good medical coverage, then even a massage, believe it, a body massage is covered off your insurance, which I did. I just had my massage just a few days back and I'm happy. It's $105, but I only paid $2. So I think that's one positive note of having a private medical coverage. And last but not the least, the very high taxes of living here in Canada. Yes, from you have the GST, the PST, totaling to 15%. If you dine out, you also pay a tip. It's like additional 15% charge, and everything has a tax here. I don't find anything here that doesn't have any tax at all. So that's what happens if you live here in Canada. Like for me, it's kind of a bit of adjustment because I moved from Dubai, but I don't really have to pay any taxes. I get my salary in whole. On a positive note, of course, your taxes go so well. The government do something about it because you have a healthcare, you have a education for your kids, which is not bad. At least you feel wherever your money goes to. So that's one of the main adjustments that you have to consider if you want to move here. So for you guys, you still have time. If you're not here in Canada yet, probably this is the best time. Once you see this video, just try to think of it and reflect on it. If you're really up for that challenge, if you're really ready to accept this big changes once you move here in Canada. So any journey is not really that easy, but you have to accept that it's not, that life is full of surprises. So I hope this video helped you consider of your decision of moving here in Canada. Regardless of what I've said, there are a million ways why you would love living here in Canada. Please make sure to like and subscribe. This see you again, guys, and please keep safe and hope to see you again very soon. Thank you and bye.